Hi everyone, my name is Evelina. I am a life coach for immigrants, and in this intro I will explain what does that mean, why you might want to listen to this podcast, and a little bit about my story. Who am I, where I'm from, and why I understand your struggles. So first let me tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Evelina. I am originally from Poland. I came to the US in January of 2005. I was working in Grand Rapids, Michigan as an au pair. For those of you not sure what it means, an au pair is like a foreign exchange student / nanny. She or he is from another country and lives in somebody's house and takes care of their children. That's what I did when I first came to the States. During that first year, I met my husband. I was not planning on staying. My family is back in Poland. When I came, I did not plan on living permanently across the Atlantic. But I met a guy that made me feel like I belonged. I felt so loved, so accepted. He admired me. Being with him felt like being home away from home. But even better, because there was that additional love, admiration, acceptance, and magnetism. So of course I stayed. Who wouldn't? I have been in the US for over 16 years now. It's been wonderful and very difficult at the same time. I've gone through an identity crisis. This was tough and it lasted for years. But as I was going through it, I had no idea what was going on, like what was wrong. I was just very, very unhappy. I am sure we will talk about it on one of the podcasts. Over the years, I've changed jobs, traveled, moved, lost close friends to cancer, lost my grandparents, lost my beloved dog. I've cried, and I had fun. Life has been wonderful and challenging at the same time, just like any other human. But being an immigrant brings in extra challenges others don't understand. We immigrants can sometimes easier relate to each other because we know what it's like to be an outsider. We also know what it's like when you don't feel like you fully belong here in the new country and in the one you came from. We know the mind drama that comes from constantly comparing ourselves to native born. We know what it's like to be the only employee with accent, what it's like to be misunderstood because of cultural differences. We know what it's like to struggle expressing yourself because you don't speak the language well. And we all know what it's like to miss family, culture, food, places, and everything else that made you feel Polish or German or Russian or Italian. It's a unique experience, and it's hard to explain. But if you lived it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, how do I help? What does that mean that I'm a life coach for immigrants? Immigrants. We are going to be rolling some R's over here. If you don't like rolling R's and giggles, listen to something else. Because you will be annoyed, But if you don't mind it, stick around. So let me explain to you what does it mean that I'm a life coach for immigrants. First of all, maybe let me tell you what a life coach is. I help you go from where you are to where you want to be. I help you make decisions. I help you dig deep for your truth. I help first-generation immigrants create the lives they moved for. What happens with us immigrants is that when we move, we work really hard to somehow survive in this new reality we found ourselves in. This is normal and necessary. Now the problem is that in that survival stage, we often develop habits which, if not examined, will hold us back from creating a nice, solid foundation for that life we dreamt about before we moved. So I help my clients shift from that survival stage into thriving. Thriving can happen if you're creating your life on purpose. This is when you know what you want, what makes you really happy, what gives you that deep sense of self-fulfillment and inner peace. And to be honest with you, I think we immigrants really deserve it. Think about the struggles you went through, the tears, frustrations, all the sleepless nights. It took a lot of energy to make it all work. And I believe that because of all of that effort, we owe it to ourselves to create that dream life. Because we've already paid a very heavy price for being here. And we already have developed resilience and inner strength. All we have to do is to utilize these skills on purpose. Just to be clear, we do not force anything because self-punishing doesn't work. When I'm talking about self-punishing, I'm talking about, this like forcing yourself into being this person that you think you should be. I teach you how to step into a very different energy. With me, my clients dig deep to hear their truth, their soul. We see what she or he really wants, not what others are expecting her or him to be. So I teach how to approach it all differently. We don't force ourselves. We do not punish. We do not judge harshly. We choose self-awareness, kindness, and patience. We choose love. Easy to say, hard to do, you might say. It's not that hard, but it is a very different way of thinking about yourself and acting towards yourself. And that's what this podcast will be all about forming new habits, new ways of seeing yourselves. Sometimes I will be teaching you a specific empowerment-related concept, and sometimes you will be hearing from other immigrants how they overcame a specific challenge. This is why, if you are an immigrant, you might really benefit from listening to this podcast. Now, if you would like to learn more about my work, go to lifecoachforimmigrants.com. This is where you can schedule a free coaching consultation with me. I work with stressed and overwhelmed first-generation immigrants who realize that if they will keep on doing their life the way they've been doing, it all will just get even more difficult. With my help, they learn how to shift from that black and white heavy judgment to self-love, self-appreciation, and kindness. If you have questions or comments, share them here or send them over to coach@lifecoachforimmigrants.com. I really look forward to hearing from you, and I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful day.